Hey Nathan,
What?
what is writing?
I'm glad you asked. Basically, writing can be boiled down to three key parts. In order, these parts are inquiry, discovery, and communication. It all starts with inquiry. Wanting to know more about a topic is the first step in the writing process, and it leads you seamlessly into the second step, discovery. So now you've inquired about a topic. Maybe you know a little bit about the topic, maybe you don't know anything at all. Regardless, you need to educate yourself. Through your research, you'll begin to discover things that maybe you didn't know before. You then take all these discoveries and formulate your own ideas and knowledge. Finally, you need a way to convey your discoveries simply and effectively to an audience so that they can understand the information you've spent hours researching. This is the last step, communication. Finding a proper medium to share your ideas is without a doubt the most important step in the process. Without the communication of your work, all of the previous steps were done in vain. These acts by themselves are nothing, but when you bring them together in the writing process, they form a complete work.
Wow, that was a really good answer. Thanks so
you.
much.
You're welcome.
Good evening, I'm Will Neidhart. I have a few quick questions for you tonight, if you don't mind taking the time.
Sure.
Awesome. So Ethan, tell me a little about what writing in high school was like for you. What were some of the things you did, and let's kind of go from there.
Yeah, in high school, I wrote a lot of annotated bibliographies, a lot of research papers, narratives, and a lot of times during class, I would write impromptu essays. Just for
Awesome.
the class period.
That's really cool. Really, what is writing for what is writing for you here at college, at MSU? You know, and how would you compare that to high school writing?
For college, I would say I have more freedom. Our professor wants us to express our own opinion more and use words like I and just other personal pronouns in our papers.
Yeah, here, Professor Merhong Lumbu in WRA 101, Section 089 is a real bro about it, and he's really good about that kind of stuff. My next question is, how is writing going to help you in your major, after college, and what are some things that you've learned from high school and college that you're going to apply to your major?
Yeah, and my major is criminal justice, and there's not a lot of math or science behind it in the field I want to go into, so social skills and writing are going to be key for me, like writing police reports and just being detailed in writing as a whole.
That's really good. Thanks for the time. Now we're going to take it over to Jack Thomas Price with his prior writing experience.
I went to Old Elsie High School and was involved in the English program for all my time there. In class, we would read books such as To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee and Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck to learn different writing styles and wrote reflecting papers on them. One of my favorite papers that I wrote in high school was about the process of the Electoral College and as a research paper during the spring semester and the primary for the election. This paper was in APA format, which I enjoyed, but we also wrote in MLA and Chicago style. The environment set in class was very friendly and it was easy to learn in, much similar to WRA 101.
Good evening. I'm Will Neidhart, and I just have one quick question for you this evening. So kind of guide me through a little bit of the projects that you do in WRA 101 Section 089 with Dr. Merhong Limbu as your professor. Just tell me a little bit about them and just kind of go from there.
Of course, Will. We write essays that emulate forms of academic writing. Our first project was on personal experience that we've had. The second was a research paper where we had to find sources about a cultural aspect that interested us. And the third paper is detailing our majors. For example, my first paper was about my experience spending the summer in Germany, where I helped my parents move into their apartment in Frankfurt. My second paper was about the history of American punk music and its cultural implications. And my third paper was about food science and what I will be doing as a food science major. Maruhan gives us plenty of time in class to do peer review with our classmates. Peer review is a process where other students in your class read your paper and comment on it. Peer review makes sure that the paper is logical and answers the questions posed in the introduction. Peer review is an important step in making the essays the best it can be. Maruhan's vision for the class is for the students to develop narration, persuasion, analysis, and documentation skills, as he states in the class syllabus. Students are exposed to cultures and viewpoints via their classmates and are taught to effectively convey their ideas through writing.
Oh, I didn't see you there. How's it going? I'm going to tell you about the writing process. The writing process can be summed up into 7 main categories: inquiry questions, drafts, outlines, peer review, research, peer editing, and final projects. Cool, huh? Well, the inquiry questions and outlines are what help us gather ideas and begin putting them in order for us. In this process, we gather together our points and we begin to build a thesis. In this thesis is what will drive our essay. From here, we're going to go into our drafts. Before this class, I never understood the importance of drafts and outlines and inquiry questions. But inquiry questions and outlines really help build your drafts into a really good final project. Generally, in WRA 101, section 089, with Merohung Limbu, we write 5 or so drafts, and each time they go through a different type of review. This really helps perfect your final project. Professor is really good at making sure that our drafts are thorough and our ideas are built up really well. Next, we're going to go into research. MSU Library has a very good selection that will help you be successful at writing. Also, Professor works with you to make sure that your drafts are all cited properly. Peer review and editing are also used as a major role in the writing process. They really help work toward the ultimate goal and work on sharing your ideas and having peers help you. This leads to the end result, the final project. Oh, welcome back. Here I'm going to talk to you about the types of reviews we did in Writing 101, section 089 with Merohung Limbu. There are 2 different types of reviews we did: Google Docs and a global peer review. The Google Docs review was really my favorite, as it was the most convenient. What this is that students at the table I sat at would go into my Google Docs and read my essay and find out what they liked and what they didn't like and comment on it to make it the best it could be. Students are able to do this from any location, so if you occasionally miss a class, you can do it from your dorm room, or you can do it on the go. The other type of review we did was a global peer review. In this case, we brought in hard copies of our essay, put them on tables or posted them on the wall, and let everybody comment on them. The review that we needed to bring in was to be commented on by 15 people or so. Cool, huh? This was really good because it really strengthened your essay in many ways. In both instances of reviews, generally the professor gave us a kind of peer editing or review grading sheet. Cool. Good evening, Brandon. My name is Will Neidhart, and I'll be presenting today on questions to Brandon here in the library. Hey, Brandon, so my first question for you is, your offense is really strong and all, but how have you grown in writing?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I have grown to become a better writer by learning inquiry, questions, discovery, and communication. I have never realized just how much goes into a single paper. This class allowed me to be more creative and use personal experience rather than just writing another story. I was able to bring my own experience to make every paper a bit more personal.
That's really good to hear, and I'm really glad that you feel the same way.
Thank you.
So my other question here is, what have you learned in WRA 101, section 89 with Dr. Merohung Limbu? He is a really good guy, and I just want to know a little bit more about that class and things that you've done so far.
Oh, he's absolutely a wonderful guy.
Oh, okay.
In WRA 101, I have learned how to write papers in ways for everyone to understand. By this, I mean that I am more specific and straightforward with my writing skills.
Specific and straightforward. Cool. So my last question here on this wonderful evening is, how will you transfer this writing skills into your major and the workplaces in the future? I mean, it seems like you have a bright future ahead of you, and Dr. Merohung is really he's preparing you well. So just kind of tell me a little bit about that and just kind of guide me into it.
All right, yeah, he's definitely preparing me well. These skills will help me as a fisheries and wildlife major by helping write my findings in ways so everybody can understand them. And I will benefit greatly by applying these newly learned skills in the workplace.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.